Welcome into Texans Today. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and today I'm going to be breaking down 6 players that need to step up for the Texans this week if they're going to take down the Tennessee Titans. A very crucial game for the Texans if they want to make the playoffs. But first, before we get into any of that, have some great news that came in today. Aaron Wilson tweeted this out. He said the Texans, they're expected to get regular kicker Miami Fairbairn back this week from injured reserve. Our prayers have been answered. Thank you. Thank you to the NFL kicking gods for bringing us back Miami. Matt Amendola, honestly, serviceable, was not going to cut it for the Texans. I'm glad he was able to do what he did, but I'm extremely pumped to finally get back our normal kicker in Miami Fairbairn. And before I get to my 6 players that need to step up, maybe Miami's one of them. I don't know. I need your help. And I know this is a tall task, and I wouldn't ask you guys if I didn't think you were up to the challenge. We're facing the Titans this weekend. I want to do a watch party on this channel so freaking bad. I want to be here. I want to be live here on Texans Today this Sunday up against the Tennessee Titans. But I need your help. We are quite a bit away from Titans Today in the sub count for our sub battle this week. All I'm asking you, if you're not subscribed already, go down and hit that sub button. I'm trying to tell my bosses, let me go live this week. They're like, hey, we might give the slot to Titans because they're ahead of you in sub count. I get it. Numbers don't lie. So help me prove to my bosses that the number of Houston Texans fans does not lie. We're here. We're proud. We're loud. So go down there and hit that sub button right now. The first player that needs to step up, Davis Mills. I mean, not confirmed yet that C.J. Stroud is going to be out this week, but I honestly think after seeing the hit that he took last week and the aftermath from it, it might be malpractice to put C.J. Stroud back in this week after that horrific injury he suffered against the New York Jets, slamming his head on that horrible MetLife turf. But I mean, Davis Mills, last year, 61% completion percentage, over 3,000 yards in the air, 17 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Nothing you're going to write home to mama about. But Davis Mills, he wasn't horrible last year. He wasn't the worst quarterback in the league, I don't think personally. But I think this is a huge opportunity for the young man from Stanford. This is an opportunity for Mills to show the league what he's got, that he can be either a serviceable backup for years to come, which is not a slouch job. We've seen career journeyman, career backups throughout the league. Now, you look at guys who are former starters, Baker Mayfield, Joe Flacco, they're thriving with their new teams. Davis Mills, he can become a backup for many years to come if he plays well this weekend up against the Tennessee Titans. And I think he's got a lot to prove to everybody. I mean, the Texans, they went out and drafted a quarterback, a guy the same position with the 2nd overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft to replace him. So I know he's got some skill. I know he's got talent. I know he has something to offer at the quarterback position. It's just, can he prove that this weekend up against the Tennessee Titans and that Mike Vrabel defense? What say you? What's your confidence level in Davis Mills going into this weekend up against the Titans? If he does have to suit it up, if he does have to strap it in and get ready for this game, how are you feeling? 1, you're not confident at all in Davis Mills. 10, you are through the moon. You think he's going to light it up this Sunday. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So go down and give me your answer while the YouTube ad break plays. Next up on my list of players that needs to step up, Devin Singletary. Now, ever since Dameon Pierce has come back, his production has kind of slowed down. But hey, I'm sorry. Nothing against Dameon Pierce. We need to feed Devin Singletary the rock. The 2 games that he played with no Dameon Pierce, over 100 yards in each of those games. A huge impact with this Texans offense, and with a possible backup quarterback playing for the Houston Texans this weekend, you need a solid running game to help propel you forward. So, Devin Singletary, I'll be looking at you. I'll also be looking at Bobby Slowick to get Devin Singletary the ball. I think he's pretty electric out of the backfield if you're able to get him in space. So, I want to see more Devin Singletary this week, and same with John Metchie. Nico Collins, I know the injury news, it's actually looking pretty good. He said he's feeling a little bit better throughout the week. He might be able to go this weekend. Nico Collins, he's still questionable, but regardless, he's not going to be 100%. So I'm looking at John Metchie to step up. Technically, this is his rookie season. was out his entire rookie year battling leukemia. Great story, great comeback. I mean, I'm so proud of the young man from Alabama for everything that he's accomplished and everything that he's been through. But I really want to see John Metchie have a breakout game because we've seen it before and we know he can do it. And now is better than any time for the young man to really show what he's got. With Nico Collins injured, Tank Dell out for the season, you're 1-2. Then turn to Robert Woods and Noah Brown, and then you have John Metchie. And I know a lot of people are hyped about Xavier Hutchinson, but I do think if either of those guys are going to go off, either of the rookies are going to go off, I think it's going to be John Metchie. I mean, look what he did in 2021, his last year at Alabama. 96 receptions, 1,142 yards, an average yards per reception of almost 12 and 8 touchdowns. He's elusive. He's really good, and I really think if they're able to get him the ball in space and he's able to kind of show his speed throughout the game, the Titans secondary is one of their weaknesses. If John Metchie and this Houston Texans offense can exploit that, that'll be great things for the Houston Texans this weekend. Now, coming up, I have more players who need to step up on the defensive side of the football, but got to show some love to our sponsor today. It's one of my favorite apps to use on my phone, especially around this holiday season. It's Game Time, the best ticketing app out there. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a Christmas, a Hanukkah present for your loved one, for a sibling, for your brother, your mom, your dad, anyone in your life that you need a present for, Game Time is the place to go. I've been using Game Time for a while, and it's my go-to ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and comedy shows. This year alone, I've seen Shane Gillis, Dave Chappelle, Drake, Adele, and multiple Houston Astros games. So don't miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime experience by using the Game Time app to get the best deals on last-second tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NFLChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NFLCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Now on the defensive side of the football, some guys who need to step up. Number one, it's Derek Stingley Jr. Now, he's been electric since coming back from injury this year. I mean, multiple interception game. It seems like every time I turn on the Texans, Derek Stingley's getting another interception. But he has a tall task ahead of him this week because Derek Stingley is going to have to lock up the former Houston Texan, DeAndre Hopkins. As we see his stats, 2023, 26 tackles, 4 interceptions, 8 PBUs. Derek Stingley proving why the Texans spent a first-round pick on the young man out of LSU. But as I mentioned, the former Texans great last week popped off against the Miami Dolphins. 12 targets, 7 receptions, 124 yards, and 1 touchdown. And as a Houston Texans fan, we all know DeAndre Hopkins has the ability to take over a game. He has the ability to absolutely go insane and rack up the yardage, get touchdown after touchdown. And the only thing stopping him is this Texans secondary and Derek Stingley Jr. I don't know if he's going to match up more or if it's going to be more of Steven Nelson, but if it is Derek Stingley Jr., which I'm predicting it might be, I really am looking for the young man to make a statement game this game. Really, this whole defense. After giving up 30 points to the New York Jets, I know awful field conditions. I know the offense wasn't really able to get it going, but I'm looking for the defense to really make a statement, and especially Derek Stingley Jr. If he's able to lock up Hopkins, that'll be a huge message to everybody in the league. Derek Stingley, he is him. So I want to ask you this quick question. DeAndre Hopkins, we saw his stats from last week, went off for over 120 yards. Do you think the Texans can hold him under 90 yards? More or less than 90.5 receiving yards for DeAndre Hopkins. What say you? Give me an M for more, give me an L for less in the comment section. I'm really interested on what you have to say about the former Texans great wide receiver. Let me know down in the comment section. Do you think he's going to get more than 90.5 receiving yards or less than 90.5 receiving yards? Next up, Christian Harris, the linebacker out of Alabama. Gotta say it like that. But I'm really looking at him to step up. Had a really good week a couple weeks ago. Christian Harris has been kind of coming into his own this year, the second-year player. I mean, D'Amico Ryans, he's a former linebacker. you expect the linebacking group for the Houston Texans to be on their P's and Q's, and that might have been the best position group for the Texans this year with Blake Cashman, Christian Harris, Henry Toto, Denzel Perryman, all playing well at different points in the season. And the reason why he needs to step up is multifaceted. First, the Titans' run game, Derrick Henry, he's still a beast. He's an absolute workhorse, and he can take over games and dominate other teams throughout the game. I really think you got to stop the run game with Derrick Henry, but maybe even more than that, maybe even more than Derrick Henry, I think the Titans' X factor, Tyjae Spears, the running back out of Tulane. And this might sound crazy, but you see his 73 carries for 358 yards. Chuggs, what are you talking about? How is he the X factor? Well, what I don't have up here is his receiving yards this season. He's arguably the Titans' second best receiver on this team, and he plays at the running back position. He's a very, very dangerous player out of the backfield in the receiving game. So it might be Christian Harris who lines up more on him with Blake Cashman dealing with some injuries this week. Christian Harris might have to pick him up in pass coverage, and that'll be huge for the Texans if he's able to stop him, if he's able to get some pass breakups, if he doesn't let Tyjae Spears get into open space. That'll be a huge win for this Houston Texans defense. Lastly, Jonathan Greenard. He got to 10 sacks this past week, so claps up for Jonathan Greenard, contract year, playing the best ball of his life, and I really, really need him to get after Will Levis this week. As we look at his stats the past 4 seasons, I mean, roller coaster for sure. I mean, 1 sack his first season, then 8 sacks his second year. I mean, absolutely incredible. Then last year got injured, only played 8 games, 1.5 sacks, and then 10 sacks on the year this year. Jonathan Greenard, he can cause some trouble in the backfield for opposing quarterbacks. And when you're facing a rookie like Will Levis, you got to be able to get to him and get him to the ground. Jonathan Greenard, if he's able to pressure Levis, if he's able to get after him in the backfield, hey, cause some turnovers, that'll be huge for this Texans team. I mean, last week alone, Will Levis, 2 fumbles and an interception. So if you're able to get the ball and really get the Texans offense in plus territory throughout this game, I mean, that'll be a massive, massive, massive play for the Houston Texans without their starting quarterback, C.J. Stroud. It'll be huge. That's all I got for you today, Texans fans. I really appreciate everybody for tuning into the program today. Like I said at the top of the show, I want to be live this Sunday. I want to be rooting on the Texans with thousands of you in the chat. I want to go crazy this weekend, but I need your help. Go down and hit that sub button. Or if you have friends, family that are Texans fans that don't know about the program, maybe send them a show. Send them a link. Say, hey, check out this wild guy named Jeremy Chuggs breaking down Texans news every single day on YouTube. He's pretty good at it.